How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On The Ball and welcome back to another reacting episode. And today we're going to be reacting to all our pre-season predictions. So we've got player of the season, young player of the season, flop, surprise package, golden boot, playmaker, and all the trophies as well. So let's go and see how bad or how embarrassing or how great our predictions were.
So I think this was what, before a ball was kicked, we made these predictions?
Yeah.
Before the transfer window was closed?
Yeah, I think so.
Must have been.
Yeah, it must have been.
Prediction.
Well, let's start off with player of the season. Sim went for Erling Haaland. I went for Harry Kane. Harry Kane probably was the player of the season. You know, the amount of goals he scored.
Just the wrong league. That's what he got. Would have been a good shout if we were doing Bundesliga predictions, maybe. Obviously, Haaland didn't quite do it. He didn't have the
Still 27 goals this year.
He got golden boot, which is not a surprise. But yeah, did he win player of the year before? The year before?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's probably right. He didn't win it. Obviously, winner was
Foden,
wasn't it? He won player of the season, and I think obviously Haaland was out for a bit of a portion of it. Maybe didn't get as many goals as he did last season. I think performance-wise as well, was probably quieter in a few more games this season than he was last season. So that's probably correct. But I'm not disgraced by my prediction.
Yeah, I'm not disgraced by mine either. I think Harry Kane obviously had a sensational season. The time I predicted it, it looked like he might be staying, and I just went with probably my heart over my head on that one.
Who did get more goals, Kane or Haaland?
Kane, yeah. Kane got over 30, didn't he?
30.
Anyway, young player of the year. You went for Gvardiol, and I went for Phil Foden. Phil Foden actually won Player of the Year, so...
What a terrible prediction.
Yeah, so I think I'm happy with that prediction. Seeing as I put Kane on Player of the Season, let's just bump Foden up one to Player of the Season from Young Player of the Season.
Yeah, look, Foden was sensational. Obviously, Gvardiol, was he nominated? No, he wasn't nominated. Obviously,
he had a great second half of the season.
I thought maybe he found it a bit tougher than I thought he would bed in, but once he got to grips with it, he was brilliant, and obviously he's been going to be a Man City defender for a very long time on the evidence we've seen. But yeah, it wasn't quite there for young player. Obviously, Cole Palmer did win it.
Yeah.
So we didn't quite predict that. I don't think he'd even moved to Chelsea by the time we made these predictions, I reckon.
No, he hadn't.
So it was hard to predict that. But yeah, Foden's obviously a great shout. And
but I don't think we would have either of us would have picked Cole Palmer even if he had made his move.
No, probably not.
So flop of the season. This is where it gets interesting. You went for Harvey Barnes. I went for Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz looked nailed on first half of the season. You know, he was terrible. Harvey Barnes obviously got that injury.
Yeah, all the whole first half of the season.
But he came back and did fairly well. I think both of these players, by the end of it, you know, you're looking at them in a positive light.
Yeah, I don't think either of them were flop of the season. I think Barnes would have... I actually thought when he started, he got like... he had a really great debut, and then I actually did think he fell off a bit once after that debut, and he wasn't quite doing it. But then he did get his injury, and then he comes back from his injury. He had a pretty decent end to the season. So
how many games did he actually play before his injury, though?
I'm not.
Can't have been many. He got an injury really early on.
It was early, but it was like I think it was like October time or something. So I think I have to look it up. But I remember thinking, like, because after his debut, he got like a goal and assist on his head. I was like, oh god, he's going to smash it out. and then he actually did go off the boil for like a month or so. I'm trying to see exactly 1 minute. So he got in. So he only played 21 games. He got injured. Yeah. End of September.
So how many games did he play?
So he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 games.
Six games, and the only thing he did was get a goal on his debut.
And an assist, yeah.
And then he didn't do anything after that. But then he did get that bad injury. He only returned early March. And look, he did pretty well. I think obviously when you're returning from a serious injury as well, like I'm not expecting him to get hat-tricks every game. So I think he'll be happy with how he ended the season. Don't think it was flop. But Havertz, I think... second half of the season proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah,
they don't even talk about not signing a striker because they're so happy with him.
Yeah, 13 goals and an assist this season for Havertz, but you've got to say...
He only got 1 assist?
Sorry, no, I've only got the goal stats in front of me. 13 goals, right, for someone that was clowned upon massively first half of the season. You know, everyone, the 007 memes were coming out and all that. 0 goals, 0 assists in his first 7 games. And then he got that penalty. They gave him that penalty, didn't he, out of pity. And then it kind of like spiraled from there.
Yeah, he ended up having quite a good year, and they were a much better team when he was in the number 9 as well, I felt. 13 goals and 7 assists, 20 goal contributions this season. So pretty good. If you were to give flop of the season to someone, who would you give it to?
Oh, hands down, Calvin Phillips.
Calvin
Phillips, man. He goes to West Ham essentially to replace Declan Rice. And he was just shocking every single time he was on the pitch. Absolutely shocking. It's got to be him.
Obviously, yeah, he's a shout. I think a couple other shouts. Obviously, Mason Mount's there. He's been pretty bad. I think Sofian Amrabat has a shout because he came with quite a big reputation. A lot of clubs after him, and he's been pretty terrible this whole season. So I don't think they're going to go ahead with his loan deal. So I think he's got a shout as well. So I'll probably give it to Amrabat. I think he's my.
What, ahead of Phillips?
Yeah, I mean Phillips. Yeah, Phillips has been pretty terrible as well, but. Last season, he's kind of in and out of the team. I didn't expect too much from Phillips this year.
I expected him to like proper go to West Ham and reinvigorate his career. People forget like how good this guy was at Leeds, how good he was for England as well. And yeah, he didn't get the game time at Man City, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's still a good player." Nobody thought he was a bad player at Man City just because he wasn't getting the game time. And then he's gone to West Ham. I think the narrative around him was that this guy's going to reinvigorate his career at West Ham, and it pretty much couldn't have gone any worse for him.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, he's probably a good shout.
Next up is surprise package. Sim's gone for Jadon Sancho. I've gone for Nick Jackson. And you know what?
One of them's in the Champions League final.
Sancho probably is a surprise package because he's surprisingly bad at Man United this season. Fell out with Ten Hag. And he's gone to Borussia Dortmund, back to Borussia Dortmund. And he's been a star in the Champions League.
Ten Hag should have given him more of a shout. Maybe I would have, my prediction would have looked better. But obviously, yeah, he didn't even play a minute, I think. Because, like, they obviously after that, it was a very famously after that Arsenal game at the Emirates in September, Ten Hag very publicly called him out. And then Sancho had a bit of a back and forth on social media saying...
He refuses to apologise.
Yeah, refusing to apologise, saying it's all rubbish. So he was obviously, didn't even get a look in, moves to Dortmund, and I think he's had a really good loan spell there. Talk of him joining them permanently. So I think he's shown he's still very, very capable footballer, and I think... Obviously, they're in the Champions League final. He was absolutely brilliant in the semi-final as well against who did they play in the semis? PSG.
Yeah,
he was absolutely brilliant against PSG in the semis. So I think he's shown that he's definitely better than what Man United, the chances that Man United gave him. But obviously, when it comes to just Premier League, these are Premier League predictions, unfortunately. So
another one for the Bundesliga.
Maybe, exactly. Wrong league. Probably right player, wrong league.
Nick Jackson, I'm fairly happy with that shout because at the beginning of the season, everyone's saying he can't hit a barn door. Obviously, he had an amazing pre-season, didn't he? Didn't start the season too well. And he's ended up with 19 goal contributions this season,
Yeah.
15 goals, 5 assists. I think he's proved quite a few people wrong this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think especially the way he ended it, I think he could be happy with his tally and proving people wrong. I think he's had a solid first season in the Premier League, the amount of goals he scored. I think he gets a bit too much shit for the amount of chances he misses when he's still a young striker, and if he can get the goals that he has been scoring, he's going to be a good player for you, and I think he has done well. I think obviously there's only one answer probably for the actual.
What, Havertz?
No, Palmer.
Oh, Palmer, yeah. Cole Palmer.
It's very, very simple.
100%.
No one saw this coming from him.
Yeah.
He's been definitely the surprise of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Golden Boot, fairly simple. Both of us went for Haaland. Haaland won it. Yeah, I mean, Kane was still in the Premier League at that point, but you can't really look past Haaland, can you?
No, 27 goals, simple prediction. He's probably going to finish in that position for as long as he's at City.
Yeah, definitely. And Playmaker of the Year, Sim went for James Maddison. I went for Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne was obviously halted by bad injury problems this year. James Maddison had his injury problems but never really recovered. I mean, first 10 games of the season, we were probably thinking James Maddison was going to win Playmaker of the Year, but never seemed to recover from that injury.
No, I think both of them were hampered by injuries and probably cost them. I think Watkins won it in the end, Playmaker of the Year, because he got 13 assists. So, unfortunately, both our players who would have been good shouts before the season, injuries probably cost them.
Who did win
title.
it? Was it Palmer?
No, Watkins.
Oh, Watkins.
Watkins, yeah. He got 13 assists.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
We're never going to predict Watkins to win it.
No. All right, let's move on to the individual tournaments. Well, not individual tournaments, but team stats, team predictions, and we go for overachievers next. Sim went for Bournemouth. Really good shout. I'm
happy with that.
Yeah.
in November time or October time, he was about to be sacked. I was thinking, oh god, he's going to flop this Iraola. But you know what? He got that win. He was one win away from getting sacked. He got that win, and he completely turned it around. I think, like in the new year or something, there was a point where they were like in the top 4 for like form and stuff. They were just on an absolute roll, and I really think they're onto a good thing with Iraola if they can keep a lot of the squad together, make a few smart additions. I think I think getting him was a really smart piece of business from Bournemouth.
What about my one, Burnley? You know, the company did so well. He's getting moved to Bayern Munich off the back of it.
Unbelievable. Maybe Bayern seem to agree with you. I think.
Yeah.
What football they played. They did very well not to finish 20th. They did very well.
Who have been the over? It's got to be Villa, right?
Villa, yeah, I think Villa overachievers. Maybe Palace have a small shout. 10th. I mean, top half.
Yeah.
Is that their first top half finish? Like since they got
very well
promoted?
could be. I mean,
I don't think.
They were pretty terrible all season until Glasner came in, weren't they?
Yeah, but to Villa, no one predicted them top half at all.
Yeah.
I think they're a good shout. Other than that, I think from a points total wise, I guess Everton maybe have a shout as well. But yeah, I think Villa
Arsenal
probably will.
89 points.
Yeah, they finished second. A lot of people predicted second, so I don't think you can call them overachievers.
All right, underachievers. You went for Fulham. I went for West Ham. I think West Ham's a fairly good shout. You know, back-to-back European football, semi-final, and then a final, then a winners. Sorry, in the Conference League. They finished 9th this season.
9th, but in terms of the teams they finished below, I don't know if any of them are a surprise. Really.
Yeah, but they would have expected to finish higher than they finished.
Potentially. Obviously, after selling Rice, I think I predicted them 14th or something, or before they made some signings. So I think 9th is about par, to be honest, for what West. I don't think they underachieved.
But you look at the places that they finished in the last couple of
Europa
years.
League.
Yeah, true, quarterfinals, but that's still poorer than what they have done in the previous 2 years.
I mean, they won the Conference League, but unless you expect them to beat Leverkusen, I think quarterfinals is pretty.
They actually did fairly well against Leverkusen.
They did, yeah. So I think quarterfinals and a 9. If you offered them, obviously, I don't think they would have taken it. But if I told you before the season they'll finish 9th and get to the quarters of the Europa League, I think that would have been what you expect. That wouldn't have been underachieving, I don't think.
But I'm just saying solely on their league finish. I mean, they've been in, the top 7 for the past 2 years?
No, last season they didn't. They finished bottom half.
Oh,
because
fair
they
play.
only got in Europa.
Oh, because of the Conference League.
Yeah.
That Conference League kind of masked their season, didn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, fair enough. Maybe Brighton, 11th this year.
Considering what they were 6th last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a good shout. I think Man United, obviously 8th.
Man United are probably the biggest, but they won the FA Cup.
They did win the FA Cup. So I guess that counts their favour. If we're talking about, I guess this is 23-24 predictions, not Premier League predictions. So I think you got a good shout. No one massively underachieved, I guess. Apart from, if you take Man United's FA Cup away, maybe Chelsea, but 6th is probably what they were hoping for.
It's still an improvement on last year.
Yeah, they finished 12th last year. Maybe Brentford, the fact they were as low as 16th, but every season in the Premier League, I feel for them is an achievement at the moment.
Newcastle
Newcastle
from Champions
7th.
League to 7th.
Yeah. I mean, we predicted it, but I guess to drop off out of Europe completely from being in Champions League, maybe.
And poor Newcastle, they were singing on the last day of the season when they played Man United, the European football, ole ole.
Yeah, it didn't quite happen.
And then Man United go and knock them out because we're winning the FA Cup. But I don't think it's Fulham, because I think Fulham have had a fairly good season.
Yeah, I think losing Mitrovic I thought was going to be a bigger blow than it was. And they, to be fair, first half of the season they were struggling, but they did get their act together. And Silva got a tune out of Muniz, and he started scoring goals. And they ended up actually having a fairly good end to the season, finishing 13th. I think they would have taken that before the season started. So
agreed. I think both of us. I think definitely you put them just to avoid relegation in like 17.
I put them in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
That didn't work out like that.
No.
But yeah, I'm looking at the table. It's hard to say who massively underachieved. Maybe Burnley.
But I mean, they did just come up though.
I know, but everyone expected them to stay up.
Yeah, but maybe falsely, clearly
but maybe
falsely.
that's why they underachieved, because everyone expected them.
I'll probably say either Newcastle or Brighton, one of those two.
Okay.
Next, the Premier League winner. Both of us going for Man City. Man City did win it on the last day with a helping hand on Tottenham just in the midweek before that.
Groundbreaking prediction, that one.
Yeah, that one was fairly easy to do. Next up is FA Cup winner. Let's see what we both predicted. Sim went for Liverpool. I went for Chelsea. Chelsea lost in the semis. Liverpool lost in the what?
Man United in the quarters.
In the quarters, was it?
Man United, yeah. If only Diallo didn't score that bloody goal, I probably would have won this prediction. But
who did Chelsea? Oh, Chelsea went out to City. So Chelsea went out to the winners. Not too bad. But I mean, it's like impossible.
They went out to the finalists.
Oh shit! I keep thinking Man City. They went out to the finalists.
My team went out to the winners.
Yeah, your team went out to the winners. But yeah, I mean, it's impossible to predict these cup winners. It's just like pick your name out of a hat, pretty much. League Cup winners. You went for the FA Cup winners as the League Cup winners.
Yeah, right team, wrong cup.
I went for Tottenham. Always got to predict Tottenham to win something at the end of the year.
Just in case. I can say I predicted it the year we were going to win.
Yeah.
Who we got knocked down the second round.
Yeah, to Fulham. Yeah.
Couldn't have gone like more wrong.
On penalties.
Man United, I don't remember how far they went in the League Cup. It was Chelsea-Liverpool final. I don't remember how far Man United got.
Man United.
No, they lost to Newcastle at home, I think 3-0.
Yeah, round of 16.
Round of 16. Got further than you, I guess.
Yeah.
Take that.
Well, one round further than me. Yeah.
2 rounds.
No, 1 round.
2. We lost 16.
Yeah, it's after the 3rd round.
Yeah, we went out second round.
Oh, we went out second. Bloody no European football. All right, so there you have it. That's us reacting to our predictions. Some terrible, some not bad. Well, the only ones that were good were pretty much the ones relying on Man City.
Exactly.
And Phil Foden is Man City, so
we'll take it. Look, I've had worse predictions in my time.
You've probably had better ones as well.
Had better, but worse. Middle of the road. I will stand by them.
But let us know what your pre-season predictions were in the comment section below. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and we'll see you next time.